Welcome back to James Parker Sculpture. In this video I exhibit my work at the world-renowned Chelsea Flower Show in London. I unveil two new sculptures, the Queen does a drive-by, and hopefully we win an award. 10 days before the show commenced, I drove 450 miles south from Scotland to Hampshire in England, where I stayed the night before selecting plants for my exhibit the next day. One of the great things about coming to Hortus Loci is that not only can we select the plants, but the team here can select plants that they know are going to be just at their best for Chelsea. So when we're asking for one of these, then they can select one like this that's just ready to burst into life in time for the start of the show. Small taste of Scotland. Now, I wasn't looking for a lemon tree, but this just shows you the kind of plants that you can buy here at Hortus Loci. Don't often see that in the south of England, do you? Well, most of the plants in here are actually brought on by Hortus Loci, so they arrive here and they're very small indeed, and then they bring them on under cover. We're hoping to have some of these irises on our stand, which will look absolutely fantastic. Just ready to burst into life. The back corner of our stand's in the shade, so we've been given some really good advice here by Mark Straver, and he's been really helpful and suggested which plants we ought to be looking at. I really like these edge of woodland plants like lupins, and we're also going to have some foxgloves in the stand too. These are some silver birch, and the difficulty with setting a stand out at Chelsea is always deciding how big you can get away with. The last thing you want to do is for it to be too small. After I was happy with my selection of plants, I headed back to my accommodation to get an early night. Good morning, it's now Sunday morning. It is just before 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm just about to hit the road to head into London. I'm about an hour and a half drive away, so I should be there for about 6:30. Might stop for some breakfast on the way, and we'll get in the queue and then get into the show nice and early to start a day's work. And I'll see you there. It's a bit darker this morning and very wet. I think that's why the horse has got a long face.
Say you think about me because I'm starting to doubt we will find a way back to each other when...
So finally we're here, we've just arrived in the showground, and this is what we've got to build our exhibit out of. A lot of people ask if we come and there's a stand already built, but there's not, and we get this area of earth dug into the banking, and that's what we have to turn into a garden. So let's crack on. It's now Monday morning and we're a day into the build. We've got the side walls up, back wall up, shelter is almost up, and we've got the floor down. There's a lot of work to do, but we had a big day yesterday, so we'll now get the floor covered and hopefully things will start to take shape. It's now Monday evening and we've just got the first sculpture in. Dave started adding paint, and it's amazing what a lick of paint does to start to bring things together. This year I've decided to put DNA of a dancer right in the centre of the stand. I think it really does look fantastic from this angle, so hopefully the public think the same. The sign's going to go on the back wall above there. I'll have seating in the shelter. My two main sculptures, the large pear is going here, and the mirror polished apple will go over to the right hand side of the stand, and this area will be planted in a more informal style, while the flower bed at the back and the left hand side are going to be more formal planting. And by doing that, it aims to show the different styles of garden that can accommodate a sculpture. It's now Wednesday morning, we're midway through the build and we've got our twist in. We lifted that in yesterday. This is our turf arriving. This is our 2 bags of Pro Mulch arriving from Roll-On, Lawn and Turf, and they've supported us for a number of years now. We're now into day 4 of the build. We've got the bases set up for some of the sculptures. So this is for the mirror polished apple, and as you can see it's just positioned on a wooden box. A lot of what we do here at Chelsea is it's a case of kind of setting things up obviously just for a week rather than a permanent garden, so we can get away with that. We've put a box in the back corner there just to elevate some of the planting. There'll be a couple of trees to go in. We'll have a silver birch tree here and another one further back. shelters up and virtually finished, just some pictures and things like that to go in there. We've actually got a TV this year which is going to look really good, so you can see the cable coming through the back wall. That's Dave busy working on that. By building most of the stand up, that leaves space so that we can get the planting set down in without having to excavate the whole stand. There's different means of getting to the end result without having to do quite so much work. That's the sign up in the background. In this large box we've got the mirror polished apple, which is going to go on the piece of stone over here that I mentioned earlier, and hopefully that'll pick up some reflections from the planting in the foreground and the trees behind. Still a lot of work to do, but we're getting there. This year it was great to have young designer Max Parker Smith place our plants for us. His knowledge, hard work and enthusiasm were invaluable. Just wait for the end results. With the planting now all complete, my good friend Dave, who's slightly camera shy and whom I couldn't have managed without, now heads back to Scotland 2 days before press day. The following morning I unveil one of my new sculptures, my 6-foot limited edition bronze Pear. This is a sculpture I modelled in clay and then plaster before scaling it up and casting in bronze. And I'm absolutely thrilled with how it looks on the stand. My other new sculpture is this mirror polished stainless steel apple. This piece has an incredible finish and is available in virtually any size, whether it be scaled down to suit a coffee table or scaled up to truly monumental proportions. It also has the added advantage that we can easily ship it worldwide. The long-awaited press day at the RHS Chelsea Flower Show is finally here, and here is my mirror polished stainless steel apple, which I'm showing for the first time. Look at the reflection in that, even a man with a kilt. I've got DNA of a dancer in centre stage there. And my largest bronze sculpture to date is this limited edition bronze Pear, which we've just taken the cover of. A highlight of press day is the royal visit. Here Princess Michael of Kent and the Dowager Countess of Cawdor stopped past to say hello. The Dowager Countess has been incredibly kind to me over the years. This year I feel truly honoured as Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II comments on my stainless steel apple as she passes my stand. Moving from the monarchy to acting royalty, my wife Leslie and I meet Dame Judi Dench, something that will live long in the memory. Finally, following press day, the show is open to the public. The reaction is better than I could have wished for, and the stainless steel apple in particular is a real showstopper. I'm already planning on making this in other sizes, larger and much smaller too. After the traditional plant sell-off at the end of the show, we dismantle the stand, install the sculptures in their new homes, and 3 weeks after leaving home, finally make our way back to Scotland. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a big thumbs up and do let me know what you think in the comments. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're safe and well, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So Take me back all the way back.